Okay, well, here we are, down the coast. Absolutely fantastic. Pretty happy because I haven't actually done a coastal scene for quite a while. I've done a lot of river, a lot of outback, etc. But just a beautiful, calm, sunny day coastal scene. Should be great. All right, let's get this. Let's just get this painting out of the box, or the canvas, I should say. The Belgian linen I'm going to use today. So we'll just open this up. All right. Okay, we'll slide that linen out. You can see how they slide in and out beautifully. So get a couple of clamps. Right. Clamp her on here somewhere where it fits nicely. That looks about right. Okay, it should be good. Should be good. Alright, now we've got everything ready to go. A few power boats in the background, fantastic. Okay, now let's have a look what we've got here. Let's get this paper towel ready. It's a nice day for it. What are we going to do now? I've just taped off the horizon to get me nice and level. That should be good. Right. Clean all this white off this palette knife. Gotten a mucky patch straight up before I've even started and I've already got paint all over me. What do you do, eh? Okay, now that'll be the horizon there, and I'll take that tape off in a minute. I hope you'll establish that already. Let's put a bit of cobalt blue, viridian green. There's a type of green blue in the water today. Tiny bit of white, let's have a look at that. Really nice colour. A bit more yellow ochre. I'll just mix it as I go, work it out. Let's have a look. Yeah. Yep. We'll put that in. A bit more blue, cobalt blue and yellow ochre I'm deciding. That seems to be more the trick. A bit of viridian green. Good luck, and a bit of white. It's making a nice type of greeny blue. Let's have a look at aqua colour. Okay, so that's on. Happy with that, are we? I reckon that'll do. Right, straight up, get that tape off. Yeah, that looks alright. Now I'm going to go for some of the darks, compose the picture. Let's have a look. Ching, we're going to have that there, alright. So we'll go viridian green, I reckon, but with the red I'll go alizarin crimson to make a nice dark. So I've got a combination of viridian green and alizarin crimson. It's giving a beautiful dark there. Okay, now some straight ultramarine blue. I'm trying to establish the shadows that are on the ground early, so I'm putting all the darks in first. That's ultramarine blue, it's a shadow. Gentleman blue through here. Viridian green, yellow ochre, making a nice type of green. Yellow ochre burnt sienna. It's a bit more of an olive colour, so I'm mixing it on the fly here. Yellow ochre burnt sienna, viridian green. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre. Yellow ochre, viridian green, maybe even cat orange. There's a slight warmth in that foliage, so I'm feeling like I'm a bit of that in too. Very lightly touch. So I'm lightly touching. Letting the undercolours show through. More red in there. Nice. More of those ochres and greens and whatever else. Yeah. Alright, a bit more burnt sienna with these yellow ochres. So we've got burnt sienna, yellow ochre, a bit of red and green. Tiny bit more red and green in that mix. Just pulling down, these are going to be reflections, so I'm just putting that in. Reflections, yeah. Now that tide's going up freaky fast. When I sat up here before, the water was right up almost where the car is, and it's set back way. There's a massive tidal flow that you get here. It's around about 8 foot, I think. It's huge tidal flow. So things change very quickly once the tide starts going out. Pretty and green, bit of blue. Once the tide decides to go out, it really turns around and goes quickly. I'll just throw a bit of yellow ochre in that mix. Just trying to get a nice turquoise. What do we got? A bit more yellow ochre, a bit more blues. Could be a bit more blues than that. That's a bit too much of the turquoise family. Trying to fill in all the gaps there. Blues, yellow ochres, bit of white. Trying to get a body of paint on too. Pretty smart. Just trying to soften and pull through. Alright, well that's all well and good. It's time to get a bit more of the reflective quality, so I'm going to get some blues, whites, make up a really nice type of sky reflection colour. Twang of yellow ochre in that. So I got cobalt blue, yellow ochre and white. Just having a feel of what's going on here. A bit more yellow ochre I'm feeling. Let me have a look at that. There's a little bit more yellow ochre with the cobalt blue. Start applying that here and there. Get that water in before it disappears. The blues, the ochres, the white. bit of dampness here and there left over, so I'm just trying to get it in because, like I said, I know it's going to change on me. And it'll be gone soon, so. Just lightening up the blues up there, a bit of the sky reflecting. All right, oh, flying yellow ochre, burnt sienna, white, tons of white. Mixing up a really light brew here, a light tone, yellow ochre, burnt sienna. There's quite a lot of ochre in the sky down low on the horizon today, so I'm just mixing a bit of that up. Plenty of yellow ochre. Nearly there. Just a little bit more yellow ochre. Get that stuff on now. Like I've said before, the pellet knife is great for putting big chunky marks on quickly. Thrash that paint around. Okay, now let's have a look at this. I won't quite touch the horizon. There's a bit of a mountain range on the other side too. It's actually the Flinders Ranges is jutting up on the other side there. I might just leave a bit of that and put a bit of that in. I'm at the top of the Spencer Gulf, so right where the Flinders Ranges, meet the ocean almost, I guess you could say. Right, a little bit of blue, white, light tone, very light tone indeed. Let's have a look. It's a light sky today, a bit more ultramarine blue. Get all that on. Getting the edge all lovely. Little marks. Blend the two together to get that beautiful blend. Is the sky blue? Is the sky ochre? I'm not quite sure. It's because it's both. There's both going on, and that gives that feeling when the sunlight's really involved in the sky itself. You get that beautiful look. All right, let's put a little bit of the Flinders Ranges in, shall we? So we'll use a bit of white. Magenta there. They have that beautiful ultramarine blue and magenta type of dusty mauve type of effect about them. Let's just see if we've got that right. Tiniest bit more ultramarine blue in that mix. Mix, 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 mix. They jut off for miles into the distance and become slightly more blue and slightly less mauve as they go back. So it's a cooler blue rather than the red blue. It starts to go back to a slightly more of a neutral blue. Cut a little bit of paint off there. The underside of a knife. Okay, what we're going to do here, let's just get a few of these reflections pulled through. Soft, broken colour. There's a lot of ripple, so just get that knife and drop it through. Bang, bang, bang. Through. Alright, got enough of that foliage and water and whatever in. Let's just get some of this foreground because I can see it is changing super fast. Alizarin crimson, a nice red. I'll get a tad low on that one. Alright. Burnt sienna, alizarin crimson. Those rocks really have a nice, the little pebbly rocks on the beach have a very nice colour, so I'm trying out this alizarin crimson. I just can't believe how quickly that tide's changed. Trying out that combination of alizarin crimson and burnt sienna. Bit of yellow ochre with it. Things are changing so quick, I'm just putting some of that in now. That's all up there now. It's amazing how quickly that tide comes in and out. Yellow ochres, alizarin crimson, burnt siennas. Alright, let's mix up some more of that beach sand. So we'll go yellow ochre. I might go a bit of cad yellow this time to really pep it up bright. Plenty of white. Put that stuff in random marks. Random marks. Just putting some of those earthy tones that we mixed up right out there now, so I can really play on that warm and cool contrast between the cool water and the fact that the tide's gone out and exposing a lot of those rocks. More yellow ochre. Chunk it up. Good variety in the foreground with chunky rocks and etc. Broken bits of colour here and there adding interest. Cut that in beautifully like that. I'm just trying to bring a little bit of that low tide. Those little rocks can come out now. Starting to surface. Little rocks just popping out by himself. Alright, let's draw some of those trunks in there. Because the tide's gone out, it's revealing the trunks on the mangroves, and they're a very beautiful colour, and they weren't there earlier on, so I couldn't really work out what was going on, but now I can see it. I can put those trunks in the knife. Nice dark colour of ultramarine blues and burnt siennas and alizarin crimson, all those dark colours without any white mixed in with it. It's very characteristic of the mangrove to have these beautiful trunks. Just keep adding bits here and there where it's needed. Such a lovely day down here. Little bits of this and little bits of that. Bit of growth here and there. Some reflection. Got a bit lost, so we add that back in again. It's just a blend of this and that now, getting things right. Some of that samphire or whatever it's called. It's kind of scrubby stuff that grows on the ground. I think it's sapphire, samphire, something like that. You can actually eat it, you can stick it in your salads and it's got a salty sort of flavour. Well, that's actually that sort of magenta-y, dusty mauve thing growth that we're getting down on the water there. Beautiful colour. So I'm going to throw some of it in because it's giving those magenta-y highlights. Right. Flack here and there. Well, that'll about do it. What do we got? That'll about do it, I reckon. What we've got is the big impression, just a big impression of light, shadow and form of low tide down at the mangroves. And like I said, I had to start at high tide. The tide moves so fast here, it's unbelievable. It's way out now, it's like miles out to sea. And I started with it right at the base of the car. So it's amazing just how quickly that moved. Anyway, that's fine. So what I've done is adapted that and used that, those highlights, well, like the headlands or whatever, or just the sandbanks and the rocks. Use that as an extra piece because before it was going to be just about reflections in the water on the blue with the beautiful reflections of the mangroves themselves. But as the tide went out, I felt like I could get that beautiful combination of the warm colours of the rocks and the sand against the cool water, and I think that's added something. So in saying that, let's get that camera off and have a close look. No worries.